Hello and welcome to my morning salon. Hot as hell, and I'm not in my nice, comfy basement. But yes, this Lolita vlog. Oh, and I thought I had you sorted. I guess I didn't. But this Lolita vlog, I'm going to talk about something I've been wanting to talk about for a couple of years. Don't mind the wine, but I wanted to talk about real quick. I don't know how quick this is going to be, but I wanted to discuss, and yes, I'm going to be working on getting this veil stuck to my head. I wanted to talk about the great hereafter, Lolita and you. Because, one, if this pandemic has not taught us anything, it's that humans are fragile little sacks of meat that could end up cocking it in a, is it cocking or carking? Hey, people from the UK and Australia, can you let me know? Because I've heard this term before, and it's either a UK saying or Australian / New Zealand saying. Is it cocking it in a lonely grave, or is it carking it in a lonely grave? Because I like saying drug, like real gross things, not derogatory, but like dirty things. I'm gonna say cocking it in a lonely grave. But humans end up cocking it in a lonely grave at some point. It's like we are like it's the one thing that we have definitely learned in the pandemic is that humans are vulnerable and our lungs are squishy little things, and pretty much anything can take us out at any given point in time, and we are more or less helpless to stop it. So how this what does this have to do with Lolita? Are you talking about like gothic Lolita, like how gothic Lolita has a lot of like imagery of like skeletons and coffins? And no, I'm talking about what the crap happens to your Lolita when you are no longer among us. So before we start, I did some research for this, and I don't know how long it's going to be. I'll try to keep it concise because this is a very heavy topic, which brings me to, you saw the lovely trigger warning at the beginning of this. If I'm going to be discussing death, and that's a heavy topic, I'm going to try to keep it as jovial as possible, but this is a very heavy subject. If you were like, nope, or you were just not in the mental headspace to want to hear a topic like this, please don't hang around. Don't stick around on my behalf. I've been shadow banned by YouTube for a little bit and just finally getting back on track. Don't feel like you have to stick around, especially if you're a new person. I like having in-depth, deep discussions and things that I know I think about, and I'm pretty sure I've never heard a Lolita cover this. So I just wanted to discuss this. But if you are, please, I am imploring you, if you are not in the right mental headspace, if you cannot deal with a topic like death and dying, then please nope out of here right now. But if you are kind of curious, like, where the hell is she going with this, then stick around. Let's get into it. So again, I have been actually wanting to cover this for the last 2 years. A while ago, I was supposed to be talking about the stages of life. I had talked about dating and marriage, and it was supposed to be parenting, which I was going to have my mom sit with me and talk about Lolita, which I might still do that since I'm going back to Philadelphia this coming Tuesday. I might just find a day to sit down and have her and I have this discussion about parenting in Lolita. And then I wanted to discuss death in Lolita. But I moved. I was like, I know how YouTube gets when you say the D word. And by the way, I'm not going to say unaliving. I am going to be unapologetic about calling death death. There's nothing wrong or nothing bad about death. Per se. In the best of circumstances, we all want to be like 1,000,000 years old and just fall asleep and never wake up. That unfortunately is not the reality for many of us, and we have no say in this. But I do want to be honest about death, and I'm not going to call it unaliving. And like I said, I had been shadow banned already by YouTube, and this is definitely a topic that would get me completely and utterly shadow banned. So I will do my little magic to work around, tap dance around their stupid ass shadow ban. But I'm not going to call it unaliving. I'm going to say death. And the only word that I'm probably going to euphemize is coffin and or casket and just call it the forever box. Because I kind of like hearing that word, like they term the forever box. It sounds kind of pleasant, honestly. But yes, I am going to be very honest about it. So at the time, 2 years ago, I had moved. I was kind of like, I don't know if YouTube is going to have an issue with me covering this. And at this point, since I've been having issues on this platform anyway, I don't care. So we are going to discuss how to go about what to do with your Lolita stuff when death occurs. So I know you're thinking like, I don't plan on dying. Well, interesting thing you're proclaiming, but death is kind of the natural consequence of being alive. So I used to be like that too. I used to think, oh, I know I'm gonna live forever and ever. And you know what? I have been called a vampire before. But as hilarious as that is, no one lives forever. And honestly, I don't know why you would want to. Like, that means watching everybody, granted, it means watching great changes occur, but it also means watching everybody you know and you hanging out with currently not make it. So death is not a bad thing. It's just one of those things as humans, we're kind of like, we don't know what the hell happens, so we get kind of leery about it. Look at it the way I look at it. I look at it like this. Humans are stubborn little monkeys. We will find a way. Somebody at this point, if death was truly the worst damn thing ever, somebody would have came back and found a way to be like, don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to hate it. Don't do it. Since nobody has found a way to come back and tell somebody like, don't do it, man. Don't do it. I don't think it's that terrible. It is tragic. I am not going to say that it's not. It is a tragic thing. No one wants to see somebody they love go. And no one wants to be the one in the forever box. But I'll also look at it like everything in the universe has its time. Even the oldest stars in the galaxy die. They fade away. Or they turn into, depending on how big they are, they either turn into a white dwarf or supernova or some shit. But even the oldest stars in the galaxy fade away. The oldest tree can just let it go. Everything in this universe it's not permanent. Life is not a permanent state. So you can't be afraid of it. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. So with that being said, it's like, what do you want to do with your Lolita collection when the end finally comes? So I had to look this up because I was just like, I was curious. And again, because we are a consumer-driven hobby here and we do a lot of consumer-driven things, no one wants to talk about, like, what the hell do you do? Remember how I said the last vlog, not video game vlog, the last Lolita vlog, I had said, you'd been collecting Lolita for like 90 years and you have this giant wardrobe of dresses and like you have every cord from every like major angelic pretty drop or your every major baby drop. You have all these clothes, all this Lolita, and then you die. I don't know how close you are with your family. I don't know like what the situation with that is, but if you're not close with your family or you just have like a chosen family, because I do believe in choosing family, and they're not too up to date on like Lolita, would you want to see your Lolita collection just get put in a bag and sent to like a secondhand no-name thrift store or like end up in Goodwill or like a place like that? Not that there is anything wrong with those places because they do serve a purpose, but we are in a very, very, very niche community. We are a very small subset of the fashion genre as a whole. So if I drop dead, my husband has to deal with my Lolita collection. he knows the rule. The rule is, and I had to remind him when I told him I was going to be making this video, I was like, what is the rule for if I, like, when I die? He's like, I don't know. And I'm just like, bro, the rule is you contact the local Lolita community. Come on, Raven. Come on. Pardon me. Let me get her up here. I'm sorry. All right. For a moment, I had both dogs over here. Please don't lick me. I have makeup on, pup. Don't lick mommy. Like, don't lick mommy. Make that a general rule. Do not lick mommy. But where was I? Oh, or should I say when I bite the big one, if I bite it before my husband does. The rule is he's supposed to contact somebody from whatever local Lolita community to come get my stuff so they can either, preferably so they could sell it, like they could pay him for whatever and he can sell it. My problem with this is my husband doesn't know what stuff costs, and I have a few brand pieces, and then I have a few pieces that are like really like elegant pieces. And this is the thing, and this was one of the things I had looked up when I was looking up about death for collectibles. Even if you're tight with your family, you may or may not necessarily know. Like, they may or may not necessarily know what things cost. I do not know what the resale value of Coloris Wedding by L Press goes for. Same thing with my nine odes dress. I can't remember the name of it right now. But I may not know what the resale value of those dresses are, but they were limited time dresses. Same thing with my Kingdom of the Fairies dress. Those are items that I don't see on the resale market like that. And same with Royal Corgi, same thing. There's certain things that just do not hit the resale market like that. So it's like, if your family members don't know the value of something, and say you have something like Crystal Dream Carnival or Holy Lantern or the Baby to Starshine dress, that's the Elizabeth dress, and they don't know what that costs, let alone what you paid for it, and they're selling it for like $40. They're missing out on a lot. And my thing is, there's no Kelly Blue. It's not like a car where you could go to Kelly Blue Book and just open it up and be like, oh, Holy Lantern by Angelic Pretty. On the resale market, that would fetch like $500 or whatever. There's nothing like that for Lolita because, again, we are a small niche fashion community. So if your loved one doesn't know the cost of something, they're just going to sell it for whatever. And I also believe, even, let's just say on a wild damn whim, you decided to get your entire damn Lolita collection appraised. Some Joe Blow appraiser he's going to look at you like you're off your fucking rocker, because he's not going to understand the community or the cost of things or whatever. So the only thing, and this is what they were saying in one of the articles that I read, they were like, get things appraised, but since there's no one to appraise these things for us, write things down. Write the cost of things down so you have an understanding, or your family has an understanding of, okay, this dress, Crystal Dream Carnival, had cost, like, let's just say, I'm making up shit, $700 on a resale market. So they know if they give it away or they try to sell it on like online or something, they know what to charge, and you're not that it matters to you, because you're not here, you're not alive anymore. But that way they know, that way they're not getting hosed, basically. So you kind of want to mitigate your family, because they're already going to have, especially the more sprawling your collection is, they're going to have a lot to deal with. And this is stuff that even I have to do, because this was stuff, until I looked this up, I didn't even realize that I should be doing. Like, my husband knows, but he doesn't know the cost of things. So, and like I said, I have several dresses that I've never seen on the resale market that I have no idea what they would fetch in a resale situation. So Whew, man, it just, she is out there having a fit. So, Raven Pepper. But it just makes a difficult situation like that much more stressful for a family member if they're already going to be in a grief-stricken state because they lost you, and it's going to be like, well, what the hell do I do with this stuff? And you just don't want to see family members, even though you're gone, you don't want to see people you know and love get taken advantage of. So write things down, especially if you know, like if you're with somebody who's in the know and they know and they're willing to take the responsibility for your Lolita collection, that is amazing. But I'm sure many of us either have family or friends or significant others that just are going to be baffled by the entire process of trying to sort your entire ass Lolita collection. So it is imperative that if you want your family members to, she is just having a fit. I do not know what's going on with the dog, but it's imperative if you want your family members to get the best price for the things that you have in your Lolita collection. Write it down, and if you can find like the cost of, like I said, I don't know why I'm leaning so heavily on Crystal Dream Carnival or Holy Lantern, any of those ones, or that ice cream whatever dress that was, and just see if you can't find, what those would fetch on a resale market. It's probably gonna have to be me because I'm constantly talking about a Kelly Blue book for Lolita, and I do not want to undertake that. I do not want to do it. So there is that. But then the question, would you want to be buried in your Lolita? For myself, I actually have a death plan written, and that's something I encourage everybody to get. Actually, honestly, I'm going to encourage you, if you do not know, to check out a channel called Ask a Mortician. She's the reason I got comfortable with death and dying. Her channel is amazing, and she it's going to sound strange what I'm about to say, but she makes death kind of fun and funny, and she takes some of the out of dying. So I've been watching her channel for a few years now, and she is my queen. I am not going to lie. She has helped me out immensely, just get comfortable with the death situation. So, but she would encourage you, as I am going to encourage you, to make a death plan. And a death plan is basically not a living will. That's like if you're incapacitated, what your wishes are. This is beyond incapacitation. You are no longer with us. You are dead. It's done. So a death plan tells what to do, where to go, what to do, and what you want in the event of your untimely death. So I have a death plan. I have told my husband my death plan is on my laptop. Just open it up and keep it pushing and just follow the damn death plan. So it has how I want my body to be dealt with, how I want, basically, I do not want a funeral. I want a memorial, preferably a crazy memorial where they're showing crazy stuff, because I hate people crying, especially over something I did or caused. So I don't want a funeral. I don't want anybody looking at my dead body. I was watching this video game called Mortician Assistant, and I was just like, I just don't want anybody. The vessel that was me is just the vessel. I don't want anybody looking at the vessel. The thing that makes me me is in the ethers. So I don't want anybody looking at my dead body. I don't like looking at dead bodies. They always just seem not right to me. But I know that's the nature of death. But I don't want any of that. I don't want anybody looking at my corpse. It's not fun. I want a good time. Preferably, when I die at my memorial, I would love to have somebody have a pie fight, because I fucking love pie fights in life. So I would like to have that as my memorial to me, like just people smashing pies in each other's face, because it's goddamn hilarious. But independent of that, my vessel that would be left, my body, if at all possible, I want to be turned into a giant damn diamond. If it's not possible, I wanted to do the water cremation, and I want to be turned into either a diamond or a giant pencil, because The process of turning things into diamonds involves graphite. So if you can't afford to turn me into a diamond, turn me into a giant pencil. That is hilarious too. That has comic validity, and I'm all about comic validity. So, but do I want to wear Lolita as I'm getting dipped in acid? No. It's going to be a coffin. If you know that show, I Think You Should Leave on Netflix, and you saw that last second season, they did that coffin flop where he's like, there were dead naked bodies in coffins, that would be me. Because I came in nude, I'm going out nude. So I don't want to, and I could not live with myself if like this awesome, cool ass dress got destroyed in the acid dip. So, in the alkali hydrolysis dip, because that's what I would want for myself. I want alkali hydrolysis. So, yeah, but do you want to be buried in your Lolita? You can do that. Like, basically just specify in your death plan, I want to be buried in Holy Lantern that goes with me, and that's what the hell is happening. So, yeah, you can do that. I mean, or you can go that coffin flop way and be dead in the thing. But if you're planning on having a viewing, I don't know how well that was going to go with your family. But I'm saying, I'm assuming that's an option open to you. So, yeah, I just want you guys to think about what you want done with your Lolita collection. Because I know it seems like, oh, I have lots of time, but you never know when you don't have lots of time. And that is truly the one thing this pandemic has like driven into me like a damn car at high speeds, that you never know when the number is like your damn number. You can hope that your number is not the number that's up, but you never know. But if it is, the best thing I can say is have a plan. Make sure people know what the value of your collection is. Make sure if there's people that you want, let's just say you're in a community and you've made like a ton of friends and you want your stuff disseminated again amongst those friends, then write it down, specify, have a death plan. One of the things I was reading said have a will. That way people know what to do, because in all honesty, when somebody dies, it's already a difficult thing. It's already hard. And because we are in such a niche like fashion, they're gonna open your closet and just be like, what the fuck do I do with this stuff? And just try to make it as easy on your loved ones as possible. And I know it's sad, but just, I mean, unless you want yourself going to Goodwill. My thing is with going to a thrift store or Goodwill, like that's fine for my regular clothes. In fact, when I die, my regular clothes collection is fucking sweet as shit. If I drop dead right fucking now, my clothes collection is just goddamn amazing. I have free people in there. I just bought some dresses from some European brand called C&A. They were all popping and beautiful. Somebody would clean the fuck up on my wardrobe. But when it comes to Lolita, yeah, they'll clean up on my wardrobe, but they're like, bro, they're not like, I just keep thinking about the lady next door. The lady that lives across the way, who, when I was doing a Lolita vlog once, she looked at me like I had lost my goddamn mind. She looked at me like I had gone fucking crazy, because she caught me when I was wearing a really frilly Lolita dress and she didn't know where to turn. So when somebody sees that in a thrift store, they're gonna be like, oh, that costume's pretty cute, I'll buy that for Halloween. And we all know how we get when people call Lolita a costume or cosplay. Don't tell me we don't get testy, because we do. Don't act like it's not a thing. So that's my only issue with stuff going to Goodwill or a thrift store or whatever. Specify putting it in your community. And like, let's talk about these things. I mean, These are things no one thinks of, so they should be discussed. And I know it's a harsh, horrible subject, and I know my hair looks a mess, and this damn veil won't stay on. All right, fine. You win, veil. You win. I know it's harsh and horrible, and it just seems like such an improbability. And yes, maybe you'll live to be 163 and like have 900 great grandchildren, and just it'll be perfect. But as a backup plan, I am all for backup plans. Make sure everybody knows what to do with your stuff, so nobody is left scrambling, or your clothes, your sprawling Lolita collection doesn't end up somewhere where you really don't want it. So that is all I have. And I know this was a little rambling, and I wanted to be a little more organized. Like, I started on my phone, but honestly, this is just such a strange kind of topic of conversation. But I wanted to make sure I covered it because it is important, and it is something that we should ultimately think about, because for the umpteenth time, we are in a very small fashion that not a lot of people understand, and people are just sometimes not going to know what to do unless you are insulated with a bunch of other Lolitas, and that is your family. Though the cluster of Lolitas is your family. Normies are not going to know what to do. So I hope this helps, and until next time, later.